Let's go!
Hey everybody, Coach Scott here, and today my subject is how to stop being buried in 2020. That's right. And I heard a story that reminded me of all the different seasons of life that we all face, and we're going through a crazy one right now. But the story goes like this. There was a farmer, and one day the farmer's dog fell into the well that he had in his backyard, and the dog cried, and the dog barked for hours as the farmer tried to figure out what he was going to do, how he was going to get this dog out, all the steps he was going to have to go through to even try to get to him. And finally he just decided, you know what, this is an old dog, and this dog is not doing well and it's sick, and the well needed to be covered up anyway, so this is probably a perfect time to have a little graveside ceremony, because the dog just really wasn't worth retrieving at that point. So what he did was he invited all of his neighbor friends to come over and help him. So they all said a little prayer, and they grabbed a shovel and they began to shovel dirt on top of that well with that poor dog inside. And at first the dog probably realized what was happening and cried horribly and barked and whined and moaned. And then something amazing happened. He quieted down. He stopped barking. He stopped whining. And a few shovel loads later, the farmer finally looked down to see what he thought would probably be the end to his dog, and he was amazed at what he saw. With each shovel of dirt, it hit that little dog's back. The dog was doing something really, really incredible, and that is he'd shake it off, and then he'd step on top of that dirt, and he'd be coming higher and higher and higher. And as the farmer's neighbors, and then they continued to shovel that dirt on top of the dog, he'd once again shake it off and then take that next step up. And pretty soon, everyone was amazed as that little dog stepped up over the edge of that well, shook himself off for the one good last time, and then he just trotted off, smiling, tongue wagging, and he was off to the next adventure in his life. And here's the point. Life is going to shove a lot of dirt on top of you. Life is going to try to bury you. The weight of life, it will try to bury you. But remember this, there is a big difference between being buried and being planted. When you bury something, you don't expect it to come up, but when you plant something, you expect it to come back up out of the ground. And the trick to getting out of the well and the pits of life is you got to do like that little dog did. You got to shake it off and take that next step up. Shake it off, take that next step up. And each one of us are going to have troubles, and we're going to have disappointments, and they can be the stepping stones. And every disappointment, every hurt, and every setback can be a setup for a great comeback. And here's what I know. We all can get out of the deepest wells. We all can get out of the darkest valleys by pushing forward, not stopping, never giving up, shaking it off, and taking the next step up. So here's the question. How do we start that process? We're all in a season right now of really uncertainty, and when 2020 has really turned out to be very, very challenging for many people. So here's the process. Number one, this works in any season of your life, by the way. You need to search your heart and be willing to forgive people. They're not our enemies. You see, when you forgive, it frees your heart from hatred and pain. And remember, there's people that are going through a lot of worse times than we are. So be willing to forgive and watch God begin to bless you in ways you hadn't thought about. Number two is stop worrying about things that haven't happened. It's called anxiety. Free your mind from worries. Because here's what I know. Most worries never come to pass anyway. Most things that we dread never come to pass. And number three, don't make decisions that complicate your life. That was a piece of advice my grandfather gave me. He said, live simply and appreciate what you have. Because if you're always waiting for the what if, or when something great is supposed to happen, it never comes. So be thankful for what you have. Number four, give more. You see, when you give to others, it becomes an open door for God to bless you. And I've learned this throughout my whole life. Be a giver, because it will come back to you. And then number five, I think this is critically important for you to get out of that valley. You got to expect less from people, but always expect more from yourself. Expect less from people, but always set the standard, set the bar higher and higher for yourself. And if you'll do that, I believe and declare that you will be all that you were created to be, and we will together get out of this pit or this well of 2020. God bless you guys. Take care. We'll see you soon.